Often men, trying to justify their infidelity, blame their wives. They say she has let herself go, has become passive, cannot be interesting. But in reality, everything can be completely different. What do you imagine a typical cuckold to be like? I always thought that this is a woman who is not interesting to anyone. Not very attractive, inconspicuous, does not take care of herself. But recently, I was able to change my mind. It all started when I fell in love. As a true romantic soul, I could not pass by the new man in the team. Moreover, he was attractive, well-mannered, a real gentleman who literally adored women. He always held the door open, helped to carry heavy bags to the office, even if it was just a small package with documents. I became a victim of his charm, as I thought, the only one. First of all, I found out about his marital status because I did not notice the wedding ring on his finger. One of my work colleagues helped me, who said that he was married and had 2 children. Everything seemed normal. At first I was upset, but then I noticed that Michel, that was the man's name, began to show attention to me. He would sit at my table in a cafe, then offer to help me with documents. Somehow we just started spending more time together, and soon I found myself in his arms. One evening I stayed in the office and he offered to walk me home. And then, everything happened very quickly, as if in a fog. I woke up the next morning with a heavy feeling. Strangers' men are definitely not my thing. I always believed that in such situations, female solidarity should work. But the feeling of guilt did not give me peace until Michelle reassured me. But what about the wife? She's just a house in the kitchen. I'm with her because I have to. The children are taken care of. I haven't felt any interest, let alone love, for a long time. You should have seen her. Who could possibly like her? It was as if a stone had fallen from my soul. If there is no love and the woman is nothing, then I am not destroying their family in any way. Moreover, I am even saving him from an unhappy marriage. This calmed my conscience, and I began to feel lighter. The next 2 months were the best for me. I was sure that he was about to leave his wife and be with me. But the situation, strangely enough, remained unchanged. This piqued my curiosity. I started asking my colleagues if anyone had seen his wife, but none of them confirmed the image I had imagined. Then I decided to search social networks. By his last name, fortunately, it was rare, I found several profiles, and they all belonged to real beauties. This definitely doesn't fit the description, I thought, but I couldn't find peace. I had to see this woman, find out who my competition was. But really, what kind of competitor is she to me? And here I got a chance to look her in the eye. I was walking through the mall and suddenly noticed a familiar face. My beloved Michelle was standing in the home goods store, choosing bed linen with a smile on her face. There were 2 cute boys nearby, and his wife. For a long time, I couldn't believe that it was she, the same hen, a tall, slender woman in a dark green sheath dress with low heels. A perfect figure, impeccably styled hair. She didn't look tired or exhausted, as I expected. On the contrary, she was constantly smiling, cheerfully talking to the children, hugging her husband. And he, like a faithful dog, looked at her cautiously, stroked her hand, and nodded attentively to her every word. At first, I wanted to remain unnoticed, but then excitement seized me. I accidentally went into the same store. Michel noticed me, how his face changed. After a moment of confusion, he began to signal to me with his eyes. It seemed that he wanted to say, "Please, pretend that we don't know each other. I'm begging you." But no, I went up and said hello, introducing myself as a colleague. Michel broke out in a cold sweat. It turned out that his wife's name was Sarah, and she was a wonderful woman. If she had found out about her husband's love affairs, she would have undoubtedly filed for divorce and found herself a man who really deserved her love. My frightened lover was clearly not right for her. And he, it turns out, was not right for me either. After that meeting, Michel seemed to melt. He never showed up at work again, and later I found out that this coward had filed for dismissal. And then he inherited it, our HR officer remarked with a smile. From her, I learned that I was far from the only one who was conquered by this so-called alpha male. I felt so sorry for us women, beautiful, worthy of much better, intelligent, and talented. We are often forced to put up with such pitiful creatures who do not even deserve a place in our lives. I barely restrained myself from approaching Sarah again and opening her eyes to everything I had learned. Not for revenge, but for the sake of female solidarity.